Hi everyone, my name is Shaira Torres Saga, and today I will report on my assigned topic. This is the continuation report of me, Cyrus Maliksi. Our report is entitled Institutionalization. Let's have a recap. So me, Cyrus Maliksi, tackled about in your pre-recorded video that institutionalization is the act of establishing as a convention in an organization or culture. And curriculum is standard-based sequences where students practice and achieve proficiency. Let's now proceed to our topic, which is institutionalization. As defined by the AECT, institutionalization is the routine use of the instructional innovation in the structure and culture of the organization. So, institutionalization of a curriculum means that a new way of teaching or a new idea has become a regular part of how a school operates. It's when everyone in the school, teachers, students, and staff starts using it regularly. And it becomes a normal part of everyday activities, not just something that tried out for a short time. Next is purpose of institutionalization. The purpose of institutionalization is to incorporate any instructional innovation into the infrastructure, behavior, and culture of an institution or organization by Surrey and Ali. So the purpose of institutionalization is to make sure that any new teaching methods become a normal part of how a school works. This means they become part of the school's daily routines, how people behave, and the overall school culture, so that everyone uses them regularly and they become effective. So let's now proceed to the next slide. So Surrey and Ali contend that there are 6 indicators of institutionalization. So the first indicator is acceptance by relevant participants. This involves ensuring that the people who will use or be affected by the innovation have accepted and are committed to it. This acceptance is crucial for the innovation to be successfully implemented and sustained. The next indicator is the innovation is stable and routinized. So, for an innovation to be successful, it must become a stable part of the organization's operations and be integrated into daily routines. So, stability implies that the innovation works as intended, and routinization means it's used regularly without problems. Next is widespread use of the innovation throughout the institution or organization. So, the innovation should not be limited to a small group but should be used broadly across the institution or organization. Widespread use indicates that the innovation has been accepted and is beneficial to the entire organization. The fourth indicator is firm expectation that use of the practice or production will continue within the organization. So this means that everyone in the organization believes the new practice will keep being used in the future. It shows that the innovation is seen as important and valuable, so people expect it lasts. The next indicator is continuation does not depend upon the actions of specific individuals, but upon the organizational structure, culture, or procedures. So, the sustainability of the innovation should be integrated into the organization structure and culture, so that its continuation is not reliant on specific individuals. It should be embedded into the organization's procedures and norms. And the last indicator is routine allocations of time and money. So, The organization should regularly set aside time and money to support the innovation. This ensures it has what it needs to keep going. Now, let's proceed to key stakeholders and their roles. So, stakeholders or administrator. So, are individual or institution that are interrelated in the school curriculum. They shape the school curriculum implementation. So, administrators are leaders in schools, like principals or district officials, who help shape and manage the school curriculum. They make decisions about what is taught and ensure the curriculum is implemented properly. Next is teachers. Develop, implement, and evaluate the curriculum, ensuring its effectiveness in students' learning. So teachers are the ones who actually develop, implement, and evaluate the curriculum. They are responsible for delivering the lessons and making sure students understand the materials. Lastly is students. Receive the education and develop the skills and knowledge outlined in the curriculum, providing feedback for improvement. Students are the ones who receive the education. They learn the skills and knowledge outlined in the curriculum. Their feedback is important for improving the curriculum. So, do we want our curriculum to become institutionalized? So, according to Demore Lam, I read something a few minutes ago that said something to the effect that when we begin using a new curriculum, teachers want to get to the point where they have institutionalized the process so that it becomes a routine. So, when a curriculum is institutionalized, it means it becomes a regular and natural part of teaching. Teachers aim for this so that the curriculum is used consistently, helping everyone understand and follow it easily. So, the curriculum that has been institutionalized is the K-12 curriculum. So, K-12 basic education curriculum, which was implemented nationwide in 2013. The K-12 program is a standardized curriculum mandated by the Department of Education, or DepEd, extended basic education in the country from 10 to 12 years. So, K-12 curriculum is a system of education that includes kindergarten and 12 years of basic education, divided into 6 years of elementary, 4 years of junior high school, and 2 years of senior high school. It was introduced to ensure that students receive a more complete education, preparing them better for college, work, or any future paths that they choose. Over time, this curriculum has become a regular and established part of the education system, meaning it is now used in school across the country as the standard way of teaching.
So for the conclusion, institutionalization plays a crucial role in the process of educational change, particularly in the implementation of new curricula. By ensuring that innovations are accepted and stable, educational institutions can achieve authentic and sustainable improvements. The involvement of in-school management teams, principals, and boards of management is essential in leading these efforts. Ensures that changes are not dependent on individual actions but are embedded in the organization structure and culture, leading to long-term benefits for the institution and its stakeholders.
And that's all for today. I hope you learned something from me. Thank you and God bless.